Fusion Mobile, quality e-learning experience on the go.
Energy oftentimes is described as ability, capacity, or capability of doing work. And the first law of conservation of energy the law of conservation of energy, as the first law of thermodynamics, states that energy is neither created nor destroyed, but is being converted from one form to another. Energy is measured in joules, and 1 joule is the amount of energy required to raise the temperature of 1 gram of water by 0.239 degrees Celsius or 0.239 Kelvin. Yeah. We'll also talk about standard heat. Standard heat is the amount of heat that is evolved or absorbed during a chemical reaction that occurs between 1 mole of substances of the chemical being reacted together under standard conditions. Basically, chemical reactions, whenever it happens, it usually involves heat production or absorption, heat evolvement or absorbment. Now, in either way, whether heat is being given off or heat is being absorbed, we have different terminologies for them. We have when heat is being liberated or given off during a chemical reaction, it is known as an exothermic reaction, while an endothermic reaction is a chemical reaction which requires heat for it to actually occur, which means it absorbs heat for it to happen. The heat of reaction basically generally talks about the heat that is used up in the course of a particular chemical reaction. We have different types of it. We have the standard heat of formation of a substance. We have the standard heat of neutralization, the standard heat of combustion, the standard heat of solution. Now, each of these standard heats have their individual definitions, which have already been placed on the slide for you to look at. Just take a look at them and get familiar with them. Spontaneity. Spontaneity simply talks about the occurrence of the frequency and occurrence of a chemical reaction. Now, generally, there are certain energies required, of course, for these things to happen. Now, one of the very most important items for spontaneity of a particular reaction is the entropy of the reaction. The entropy of the reaction and the enthalpy of the reaction. Entropy is a level of disorderliness or randomness of a particular substance. The substances that have the highest entropies are gases, followed by the liquids, and the solids are the ones with the least amount of entropies. We have a formula on the screen indicating the conditions for the spontaneity of reactions. Now, for any chemical reaction to be spontaneous, it is required that the total entropy must increase. And for total entropy to increase, looking at the formula on the screen, we'll notice that we have to have a G which is negative. That's the free energy change in G has to be negative. If the change in V, if the reaction is exothermic, of course, it would result to the vibration of the particles of the substances reacted together, and at the end of the day, it will bring about a spontaneous reaction. And now, when the reaction is endothermic, it is most likely going to be non-spontaneous because it is absorbing it from the environment, which means that the particles might not be vibrating much. But if the enthalpy is high and the entropy is high, and they are high enough to reduce the free energy, then our reaction can be spontaneous. And if G is 0, it means that both delta, that's both entropy, change in entropy, and change in enthalpy is equal to 0.
Fusion Mobile, quality e-learning experience on the go.